Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Thai Talk with Dan. Now, for all you guys out there who are currently seeing a Thai woman, dating her, in a relationship with her, or even married to her, are you having any kind of problems within your relationship right now? Is she acting out of the ordinary? Are you fighting a lot? Is she disappearing a lot? If you want to know what's going on with your Thai girlfriend, then check her mobile phone. Now, for all the guys that disagree, checking a girl's mobile phone is sacred and you can't do that. Her private information is locked inside. Anyone my age or older remembers women that have diaries, and they used to write all the personal, dirty, dark secrets inside their diaries. And if you were ever to read them, you would be shocked and really get to know that person a hell of a lot more. Now, in 2025, all the girls' information is inside that mobile phone. Everything is in there. And you have to be prepared if you're willing to check it, because you will find old photos of ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands. You will find text messages to men you've never ever seen before. You might find out that she's got other boyfriends and other guys are sending her money. There's a lot to unpack when you go through a Thai woman's phone, because they do keep all their secrets locked inside, but they're smart. They will hide everything within that phone, and you need to be able to find access to it to find out what's really going on within your relationship. Now, I would never advise anyone to do this unless they feel very strongly that something peculiar is going on right now and you're ready and willing to find out. Then yep, you have to be quiet, you have to be secret, and once you do check, be ready for what you will find. Now, we've got a long story today, so stick the kettle on and grab a beer and let's jump straight into today's Thailand story. Hi Dan, hope all is well, and I must say I am very impressed with the channel. You found a great niche where a lot of guys need educating before they venture into Thailand. I can't believe I'm actually writing this email out to you, as I thought I would never be caught out like the others, and I wish to remain anonymous. Okay, I will give you a little bit of a backstory. I'm not sure if you edit the emails if they're too long. I am 43 years old. I travelled to Thailand for my first time when I was 26 in 2007. As with most people who have only been to Europe and maybe America once, you travel to Thailand and see a different culture. It's very exciting, all the new sights and sounds. Always been a big fan of the East growing up, watching films. So, first of all, I would like to say I did date a Colombian night worker who was working in the UK, and we were together for 6 years. And we had no problems. I let her do her thing. I took her on holiday, I trusted her, she trusted me, and we had a very good relationship. And then once COVID hit, she decided to stop working altogether and she wanted to settle down with me. And I said no. So we went our own separate ways. I definitely found a diamond in the rough with her. Even to this day now, we still talk, and being my ex-girlfriend. We split up 3 years ago. She has showed me more affection last year than the girl I'm going to talk about. Okay, so that's my backstory and a little bit about who I am. As I say, my previous relationship for a night worker, and there was no problems. So regarding my Thailand experience after I separated from my ex-girlfriend in 2022, I decided to travel to Thailand with my friend, and we arrived in Bangkok and decided to get a taxi straight to Pattaya. It was my first time seeing the girls on Beach Road. I wasn't sure whether to talk to them or not. Me and my friend was trying to work it all out. As I said, I'd been to Thailand many times before, but not as a single man looking for you-know-what.
Sexy time. Yeah.
I've been 5 or 6 times before, and I thought I knew how to handle certain situations out there. I do not drink alcohol, not for religious reasons. I just don't like feeling rough for days, and there always seems to be problems when I have a drink anyways. After me and my friend travelled together for 3 days, we decided to part, as we was not getting along. Now, once I split from my friend, I visited Pattaya 2 more times, only for 2 nights at a time, and was in awe of the women there on offer. So I went off and I'd done my own thing, had a great time, made it up as I went along. This was in January 2023. Coming back, as everyone knows, after a month holiday, you're very emotional and you want to get back out there again. You get the Thailand blues. So I rebooked this time to go on my own, Christmas 2023 and January 2024. I'd done the usual places, which I always do. Krabi, Phuket, Bangkok, Samui, and even went off to the Philippines for 2 weeks to start with. And before I went home, I thought I would spend my last 3 days in Pattaya. I did not think the consequences of taking someone's phone number could lead me to where I am now. And I know your viewers will cane me, but I'm quite happy to take the abuse, as I always need to learn lessons in life the hard way, and I thought I was in control of the situation. Okay, so on my second night from last, I decided to go to Beach Road. I was getting brave, so I looked for 2 girls to take back to the room. I spoke to a blonde woman who I quite liked, and her friend was standing beside her. She was also very beautiful, so I asked both of them to come back. We went back to the room, done the business. The blonde one was getting on my nerves. She was arrogant, rude, so I said to the other, "Can you tell your friend to leave, and can you stay for an hour?" Her friend left. I'm left alone now, and we got talking. I dropped her back off at the beach and I said to her, "Do you want to come back and meet me tomorrow at 2 p.m? And it was my last day. I think she caught me when I was vulnerable, definitely down and run out of money, and facing the consequences of going back to the UK and not having any company, as I'm a single man that lives alone. So she came back 2 p.m. the next day. We done the usual stuff, of course. And then we also went for food and a massage together, which was great. The next day I left in a taxi, and obviously now I have her phone number. She has my number also. I get home to England, start of February 2024, and I know now what she was doing, but I didn't know what it was called before, and it was called love bombing. She bombarded me. She said she missed me. She never felt like this before with somebody, and I wasn't like the others, etc., etc. So we kept chatting every day. She was video calling me, which I found overwhelming, as she's 26 and I'm 43. And she gave me so much attention. I felt so good, and I started to send money, not because she asked, but I offered. I said, "If you talk to me, I will pay you now." I didn't do this because I felt lonely. I can't tell you why I've done this, and it was a silly thing to say. So I started sending her £150 per week, which is about 7,000 baht every week. To be honest with you, the money I didn't struggle with. Self-employed electrician. I was working 7 days a week, and if I worked one late night on a Thursday, for instance, I could have her money, and it wasn't a problem. Now, I had a trip booked in the Maldives for myself to dive with tiger sharks. So I'd done my research and looked up that I could fly her out from Bangkok and we could meet up. Then I could dive with sharks and we could spend some time together. By the way, she is actually Cambodian. Sorry to forget to mention that. So, we spoke every day on video call. The odd time she would go missing, like in March last year. She went missing for 1 week. She claimed that she was in Cambodia and her phone was not working. But I now realise she says that to everybody when she is busy with somebody else, as I saw this on her phone. On top of shark diving last year, I also climbed Kilimanjaro in July for my birthday. Now, Thailand is quiet between May and October, so there's less work around, less clients, and that made my mental state easier because she wasn't as busy. However, I did call her from Africa on the mountain once, and she was out in a bar and looked very nervous. So, after travelling to the Maldives together, I decided I wanted to get her a boob job, being as it's cheaper there than it is here. So I sent her £2,000 to get it done. She never asked, but when I looked at her, her breasts have been damaged from breastfeeding her babies. So I felt this would boost the confidence, which it did. But the effect it has had now, she gets loads of attention from men, which she never did before.
What a plonker.
So we return back from the Maldives. We carry on talking and it's now September. I've only got 4 months now till I go back and spend some time with her. She's recovering from the operation. I'm working hard and everything is going fine. As I say, some days she would disappear and make an excuse. I knew what was going on, but this is a situation I found myself in. So as we get into October, November, December, I'm getting busy with my work as we're wrapping up for Christmas. Everybody wants the house finished. She's getting busier because busy season has started now. Round about November time, one weekend, she said she couldn't talk. I can't remember, maybe 12 or 24 hours, and it really hit me hard because I was working all the hours now to get back out there and see her. And obviously in the UK in November, it's cold and dark. And I remember coming home on a Saturday afternoon and I wanted to speak to her, but she texted me and said that she can't speak. I speak to you tomorrow. So I had to go to work on the Sunday with very high anxiety, not knowing what was going on. But I knew what was going on. She obviously met somebody that she wasn't able to speak to me when she was with that person, which made me paranoid. She kept seeing this guy. I worked out the pattern, which days and where they went. It was usually a Friday, Saturday or a Tuesday. He comes over from Bali and stays in Pattaya for 3 months at a time. Now, I was driving to work on a Tuesday, middle of the day, 11 a.m, which is 6 p.m. there, and she texts me and says, "Oh, I've got a customer. He's really fond of me. He wants me just to go and sleep with him, but I'm on my time of the month. Would that be okay?" She was in the salon. I could see. She looked excited. She was getting ready to go out. I could tell she was taking pride in herself, which means she liked the guy. Anyway, long story short, so I'm not sure how much of this you will tell, how much detail you're going to go into. But I decided to end it because I said to her, look, if you go with somebody for an hour, I can handle it. If you go with somebody all night, I can handle it. But what you're doing now is disappearing, and I can see you on a video call. I can see that you're lying and trying to cover your tracks. Something just doesn't feel quite right. So I ended the relationship and stopped talking to her for a week. So As I'm nearing going back to Thailand, and I'm thinking to myself, why do I really need to be meeting a girl out there when there's so many girls to meet? Her next move was to get my name tattooed on her wrist. Very small, very faint, but she still made the effort. I spoke to my friends and family, and they said all she's trying to do is keep you on side, and it can easily be covered up. But anyway, I thought it was a nice gesture. Anyway, we get over that hurdle and we carried on, and it's now late November. I carried on all through December, got myself out to Thailand, and I was going to be there for 8 weeks. I was going to do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off with her. That's what I decided to do. But even that was too much with the language barrier and her constantly sitting on TikTok. It drove me insane. Sorry, Dan, one detail I missed. I brought over £1,000 English for her, and we changed it up as a Christmas present. Now the trip was okay. I arrived in Pattaya on 27th of December. I went to Pai and Chiang Mai on my own for 2 weeks, then came back to meet her, and we went to Cambodia to meet her family, and she has 2 kids. We went to Siam Reap for a week for her birthday, and then we came back to Pattaya, and we had lots of bedroom fun, which was amazing. Also, Dan, sorry, I forgot to mention for her birthday, I bought her a ring, and now I know you shouldn't buy gold because all they do is take it back, but I did buy her a ring. I think it was around 15,000 baht. I'm not sure once I found out what was on her phone. We did not speak for a week. She took the ring back and got money for it, which I thought was pretty shallow, and I'd always known not to buy gold. Now, after we met up again for her birthday, I went off to Koh Samui and Khon Kaen on my own for a week, 3 or 4 days of each, and then I went to meet her in Bangkok and was to fly out to Krabi together for 5 nights, and then Phuket for 5 nights. So we rented a car, I drove her around everywhere, showed her all the sights and spent lots of money. She never seemed appreciative of any of the stuff. The trouble is, you date these girls, you have to realize that they don't like the same things that we do. She didn't like the beach. She didn't like the sand. She didn't like the sea. She didn't like the sun. All she wanted to do was sit under an umbrella, drink beer, and look at her phone. Now in Phuket one day, I broke down and said to her, I'm bored of you. I'm so bored of you. You don't do anything but look at your phone. I said, you look at the phone in the car. You look at the phone in the room. You look at the phone while you're eating. I said, I am so bored. Now she could see my frustration. The cracks were starting to appear. I felt this is quite therapeutic for me to write this email, as I need to break away from her now, and I'm back in the UK. Anyway, as I mentioned before, I do not drink, but as it was coming up to our 1-year anniversary when we met, 8th of February, and me being sentimental, I thought, let's go out. So we went to Cafe Del Mar. I paid an absolute fortune to get in and sit down, but it was a great night. Great venue, great music. Although, when we was out, I did notice a text from a guy. He said he was half German, half Italian, and he's been doing stuff with her all night until the morning, and then she got a taxi home, and now that gave me the hump because I was drunk, and that is why I don't like to drink. It got me thinking, but I thought to myself, don't say anything. You've had a drink. Just leave it. We finished the night and came home. She was drunk asleep in the room, and I've had a drink now. The naughty side come out in me, which I never would usually do. I've always been very strict about not looking through her phone, but I was drunk and curious. So I had to use her finger to open up the phone, which I did. and all the WhatsApp conversations were deleted, which is obviously a huge red flag. But I went into the Line app. I found there's 2 other guys on there. Now, I don't care about people that send the odd message. That's a standard practice for these girls. But there's 2 other guys in there, one from the UK and this other guy from Bali. And there's pages and pages and pages of her talking to them. One of the guys she was constantly calling, you could see the call log, and he was not answering. He wasn't interested. He was making excuses every time, saying he was busy. He really wasn't that interested, but you could see she was trying. Then you could see she had video called him for an hour, her calling him now. I don't mind her going off for 1 hour, not a problem. I don't mind her going out for the night, not a problem. But personal video calls to somebody for an hour who isn't paying you any money, that is an emotional attachment, and that did hurt a lot. I was really taken back by the level of deceit. She says all the right things to make you feel sorry for her, but I realise now it is all part of the act. I couldn't believe that all the people I've looked at on your channel, and for what an idiot they are, and there I was in exactly the same position. She tells everybody that she loves him. She tells everybody she misses him. She's a very attractive girl, and like they say, if you're not Brad Pitt in the UK, you're not Brad Pitt in Thailand, so don't think you are. It turns out when I was staying with her for the first 3 days in Pattaya, when I was going out walking, she was calling this other guy, which made me really angry. I said to her, "So you waited for me to go out and then you was calling him and he wasn't answering?" I thought it was strange because when I came back from my walk, she bolted the door from the inside, but it all makes sense now. When I left for Chiang Mai on the 30th of December, she was ringing him. She was ringing him on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the day I had my flight from the UK, and the day I landed. She was even calling him whilst I was popping down to the 7-Eleven, also on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Absolutely infuriating. I felt like such an idiot.
Failure is your destiny. You are made of stupid.
The next day, I couldn't help myself. I had to confront her. I spoke a bit of Thai, as I'd been doing lessons for the last year, and I said to her, "You've got loads of boyfriends." She said, "No, I haven't." I then showed her all the recordings on my phone. I've gone through her phone and recorded all the evidence on my phone, so I had all the videos stored. People always say to me, "Do you think she talked to other people?" And I said, "There's no way that this girl has got time to talk to other people. She's on the phone to me non-stop, video calling and texting. She doesn't leave me alone. She's all over me all the time." But I was wrong. Now, she denied it at first, but after a week of ignoring her, she finally admitted she had done something wrong. But it was too little, too late. I really have to get myself out of this situation. That is pretty much the end of my story. I'm back in the UK now, just landed yesterday, and I will be going again at Christmas for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. But one mistake I will not be making is taking somebody's phone number again. Like they say, have no ties with Thailand. Go out there, have your fun, leave it there. Long distance relationships just simply don't work. I always seen people online saying long distance relationships don't work, and I was happy with that, as I didn't want to live with somebody. I don't want to get married. I don't want to settle down. I just wanted somebody to talk to on the phone that would speak to me. Being with her in person and spending 24 hours a day of her was totally different to having a nice hour video chat from the comfort of my own home. I will try not to let this experience put me off Thailand, but it has damaged how I feel about the place, and my guard is up now. I can have fun and just leave it there. Now, my advice would be to go out, have your fun, and leave it. If you take a woman back to your country, you're not on holiday anymore. They have to adapt to the weather, the food, the people, and it's not easy. Trust me, I've done it with my ex-girlfriend, the Colombian. There was a cultural clash. If you do get into a relationship and you're talking to somebody all year, my advice would be, when you land and get back to the room, ask to go through their phone straight away. I wish I'd have done this at Christmas. I could have saved myself 2 months of traveling around with her and just enjoyed myself. Now, Dan, I have been watching you and listening to all the stories that you share all year, and I thought I knew all the tricks. I need to break away now, which should be very difficult because I will miss her, and she's not been all that bad. But I was a different person last year. I missed going to sleep with a clear head. When you're with these girls, you're always wondering what they are doing, what they are up to. It's not a way to live your life, and I know you say it a lot to your viewers. Hope you and William are well, mate. Kind regards. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really know what to say with this one because she is a creature of the night, and how they met and what they got up to and the fact that this guy fell for her is just insane. But I do get it. I understand. For guys like this that like exotic women, yeah, and willing to splash the cash and even pay for a boob job to make her more appealing to men, to give her more confidence, hoping that that confidence would just exuberate onto him. But it's not. It's helped her generate more of an income and helped her get a better kind of high value guy for herself. And it's not just these type of women that you have issues with. It can be any kind of woman here in Thailand that's got involved with a foreigner. Normally, if something appears to be weird, their behavior, they start acting strange. They say they're going away to the temple for a few days, or they need to go and see their friend. They start arguing with you so they can break up and go and meet a guy. It's mental, guys. And if you do go through the phone, you will be shocked. I've done it myself, I have to admit. And I've seen messages from other men. I've found photos, I've found hidden messages. And it's scary, guys, what you will find. You will find videos and photos if you go back and look at the dates, and you will be shocked. It's a very different world over here. And if you've got problems or issues within your relationship, and especially if you don't live here and you're buying boob jobs for women and you're giving them more confidence, yeah, they just can't stop trying to find that next better guy that's going to do everything that they want for them. And this guy wasn't committing to anything, and she understands how they met, so she probably never ever took it seriously, as he was just a customer and she was getting stuff from him. But the other two guys and the guy from Bali, she was probably getting a hell of a lot more. Now, the only takeaway from this video is that if any men right now are currently in a situation where they feel things are not right with the Thai girlfriend, Thai wife, and there's some odd behavior going on, she's acting out of character, you're arguing and you're fighting a lot, I guarantee 1,000,000% if you have a suspicion that something dodgy is going on because things are not normal right now, if you was to check her phone without her knowing, which is very difficult because they have it on them at all times, but if you do check it, be prepared for what you're going to find. And there is no point confronting them about it. You've seen the evidence, it's very clear, and now it's your choice on what you're going to continue to do. But remember, a leopard never changes their spots unless there's an incentive to do so. And the only way you could incentivize a woman like this is to give her what she really wants. because at the end of the day, they're not just messing around with a load of men just because they enjoy bedroom activities. It's not about that for most of these women. It's about what they can generate, how easier they can make their life, how much they can make their status grow within their own community, within the bar scene or the area that they're in. But definitely back home in their home village, they want to go back and build a house, go with gold and designer gear on and show off and show to the people that finally they've made it. They've got a guy that's looking after them and they can be all that they can be. I still don't know what that is, but I know they just like to feel good from others. They are so interested in what other people think. It's shocking and it's unbelievable. And I think that's a heavy burden for these girls to bear, is the fact that they are always worrying what other Thai people think of them. And it is an issue and it causes a lot of problems. But for this guy in this story, he was with a creature of the night. You're always going to be a customer and they're always going to play the game with you unless you're committing and moving to Thailand or moving her back to your own home country and you're giving her a good life with the life that she wants. But I guarantee that if you don't provide what she wants all the time and there's ever any issues, she will start hunting for another guy. And in regard to my own personal experience, it's definitely not just creatures of the night workers that are like this. For me, from my own experience, it just seems to be that the women that are used to having foreign boyfriends here, a lot of experience with foreigners, a lot of experience with foreign guys, they just can't help themselves. And if you're not giving them the life that they want, they are always going to look for an upgrade. And if you check that phone, be prepared to end the relationship. Right, guys, this has been Thai Talk with Dan. Hope you enjoyed the story. Hope you've learned a lesson from it. And I do appreciate that it's not good to go through people's private stuff. And I would only say to do it if you feel like there's something crazy going on, you suspect something, things are not good right now, and you are actually prepared to end the relationship. You just require some evidence. But if you get it, guys, don't confront them. There's no point. They will make drama, they will lie, they will not talk to you, they will do everything they can to not deal with that situation. And it's never going to change. No matter what they say, they're going to continue to do that forever unless you're giving them the life that they want and you commit. Take it easy and ciao for now. Bye-bye.